So on to match 3, we're now 1-1. We have lost to Rug and somehow managed to beat Burn, which is a small miracle, and we are mulliganing this hand. The triple dark ritual, like 2 of the rituals turn into basically bricks. So we have interaction, we have a cantrip, but this is a much better hand. We're going to bottom the Cavern, I think, because at least Edge gives us a way to draw into our pile. Cavern doesn't let us cast our spells. And here we have 3 different interactive spells and a cantrip and a land. So we're going to hope opponent's not on Rug so that we can fetch freely, but given they've mulliganed to 5, we might not even care about that. Okay, so I'm going ahead and duressing here. It's probably not a bad idea since they mulled to 5, and we're going to take their Brainstorm, which is the only relevant card they have. So we basically just left them with a hand that does very little. It's a hand that makes mana and reduces the number of cards they have in hand. And drawing a blue card for our Force of Will is nice. I guess we need to take the Doomsday in the Daze. So Daze is probably going to wind up being our Force Pitch. We're not super excited about the Cavern. We might just need to ponder and try and find a land, which we do not. So it's a little bit scary here. Opponents had a few draw steps, and it looks like they're on Uxul spells, just based on what we've seen. Like, I wouldn't normally expect to see like cantrips in Ups. I guess it's somebody's variation on it, but the fact that there's Narcomoebas and Dark Rituals kind of just makes me pretty confident on that. And come on land. Oh, Preordain's nice. So I actually should take both of these lands, but I punt a little bit and I only take one. So the reason to take both is so that we can cast our Doomsday. And this is an interesting one because... Okay, so I think here... So we cast our first Doomsday, and if they want to force, they force. And I think we'd let them. If the Doomsday resolves, I think we edge into Dark Ritual. So I kind of want to be able to edge into a blue card here. Have we made a land drop for turn? So yeah, we made a land drop for turn. So I think we want to edge into a blue card. And then... Maybe we just do like a cycling pile? That's interesting. So I guess we can ideas draw Oracle Petal Cavern of Souls and put a Brainstorm on top as well. Or a Daze. And if we need to edge into a blue card, then we need to wait. But if we don't, we get to go off next turn. Yeah, I kind of like this pile. I think this is a pile that, like, it protects us if we need protection, and if we don't need the protection, then we just win. Now, I think maybe there should have been a cavern in here, but although I guess the pedals just make it so that we're 100% able to go off. And I guess having lots of extra pedals means that we have an active Pyroblast as well, so we just get to go off with everything. And we'll take this game. So this is a bit tough because we want to board in enough interaction but not overdo it. And we also want a fast combo. So, like, this is where sideboarding can get really tough. So maybe we need to get rid of the Pyroblast. So I don't think it's correct to remove the Cavern. It might be correct to remove the Duress, because Duress doesn't take their actual combo piece. But then I guess it lets us get our counter spells through. Yeah, this hand looks a little bit too weak, I would think. Especially against a 7-card hand. I guess maybe not. Like, we have a Daze, we have a Preordain, we have ideas for when we Doomsday. I don't know. It's a hard one. I actually think I should have mulled it. I think this is probably too slow. Or maybe not too slow, but just isn't doing enough. And I think especially with the London Mulligan, it's probably... Oh shit. And I've misclicked as well. So, yeah, this game is very likely over since opponent kept 7. Doesn't matter though, they have cleverly played around the days that we had anyway. And now we're just going to snapshot their entire deck list, barring 3 cards. and move on to the next game. So the Leyline of Sanctity is nice to know about. So they have one Cabal Therapy only. 3 packs, a couple of Chain of Vapors. So Leyline of Sanctity can be a problem for the kind of Grave Hate that we're running. Yeah, Cavern of Souls comes back in. Duress just gets much worse. Now we have the now we know the ley line's there. This hand is very reactive and isn't great against a... Like, we have 2 spells that are not going to be great against a ley line, against the white ley line there. However, we do have a Brainstorm. We do have lots of interaction. And we have hard Grave Hate, which turns their combo off completely. And if they don't have the ley line, is just going to be fantastic. And they don't have the ley line, so we got lucky. So here we have an interesting hand from them. They can cast their Undercity Informer and probably do it with a Pact of Negate. So I think we take the Lotus Petal here. So the reason being, it's just taking away most of their mana and we're not actually scared of the Pact of Negation. If they pact on our turn, for whatever reason, then we just pass the turn. And then they need to be able to pay for it. And, you know, it's 5 mana. They're probably not going to have 5 mana. Pact is for them to protect their combo. Okay, and he's put his Pact under the Mox, which I think is probably actually correct here. And he's hardcast a Narcomoeba, which I'd also consider to be the correct play. It's not good, but I think it's correct. We're not going to Brainstorm here. I think we actually kind of want to... We're interested in waiting a little bit longer on the Brainstorm. We want to have more cards in hand. And I am fumbling with the Moto interface, but I want to daze the Undercity Informer. I actually just want to keep the clock down at this point. Because he was basically making his own Delver of Secrets at this point. Doomsday is perfect. We're going to hold on to our land. It's possible we should have actually kept that land before as well, just to hardcast our Doomsday again. We don't want any of those cards. We weren't super keen on the days either, to be honest, but... If we can draw a land or a Dark Ritual here, we're just going to go off. Maybe not that land. Alright, so we'll take Duress and Force of Will here. We're not actually interested in the second Force, but we do want the Duress. It's just going to make sure the coast is clear next turn. And the opponent has a Belcher. So we take the Belcher. And now I think we're more or less clear. So, opponent's going to attack us, we're going to go to 7, we're going to cast Doomsday and pass the turn. We'll allow the Ponder. Okay, and we now know our opponent's exact hand, so we don't even have to worry about anything at all. He can't draw enough cards this game to impact the outcome of what's going to happen here. I guess maybe a Flusterstorm might be a problem, but you know. So we're just going to make a fairly simple ideas pile. We will put Cavern of Souls on the bottom, I think, just to protect ourselves. I know I've said nothing could possibly go wrong, and I think that statement's correct, but, you know, we can play around it fairly easily. Thassa's Oracle goes next, and then Edge and Ideas finally. So we put Edge under Ideas to just shorten the duration of the pile. I think it and Petal can be almost interchangeable, but alright, we're just going to draw a Cavern, and this is now 100% deterministic. Game over. Yep, and there we go. 2-1.